a mix of two Swiss cultures. My father's from the French part of Switzerland, my mother's from the German part. I really grew up with those two cultures. I have three little kids, ages 2, 5, and 6, a dog. I live with this beautiful family, including my wife, in the canton of Schaffhausen. And so I started high school with ancient European languages, but then I actually switched completely gears. I went to ETH to study computer science and business. I then did a PhD in artificial intelligence and robotics. And that was really something where I started thinking about how the body works and the mind works and the combination of a healthy system. But then I went on to management consulting, where I got a different view. I started actually working with healthcare companies or companies related to health, including pharmas, including hospital organizations, including insurances. And I started mixing those two worlds, right? More the business, financial world and the health world. As a hobby, I do triathlon. And when you do 3 endurance sports, you really, or I figure out that health is not just about, giving an active molecule to a system, but actually a lot beyond that. It includes lifestyle, sleep, nutrition, even environmental factors. And that's my view on the entire story and what interests me. How does our human organism function with the world around it, and how can we keep it sane and healthy? So I work for Oracle, a large IT company. And there I lead a team across Europe, the Middle East and Africa that works with Oracle's largest customers and clients on their biggest challenges and how to overcome them with the help of technology. Healthcare has become very important and had a steep rise over the last 2 years or so, really, in that domain, and for us as a team. And there I see 3 things that we're mainly doing. So the first one is, modernize all the players in healthcare, but also help them innovate. If you look at insurances, how do you model risk? How do you do pricing? How do you think about outcomes when you work as a payer? But also, how can you understand how, for example, a disease or a therapeutic pathway develops ahead of time, so you can actually prepare for that and include that in your models. Then we're also doing 2 other big buckets. One is more programs. So with countries, for example, the US and their V-Safe system, working with the CDC and the DoD, we developed a system that helps when people get vaccinated to, with their cell phone, capture side effects or other types of data that can immediately be processed and used for the good. We have a collaboration with Oxford University where we supported the build of a global pathogen analysis system where you can look at variants of, for example, the COVID virus very quickly, near time or almost real time, and try to figure out what that actually means and how you have to react to it. And then finally, the third big bucket I would call everyday health. So I mentioned my hobby before, and how I see health as an overall system. Health is not just drugs and treating people, but it's also lifestyle. And we build, for example, systems that help families manage kids in a lockdown. What do you do with little kids? How can you manage that? What do others do? And how can we get out verified information to those people that is maybe vetted by professionals, rather than just floating around and giving all sorts of information that might not be relevant. So in the future, you have to become much more specific when you treat a disease or when you support someone in prevention. There's a lot of therapies available, there's a lot of experts available, and the question is, what do you need at which time for which patient? And I think as a data company that we are, we can actually help bring the relevant data together with the decision makers. And on the one hand, use advanced techniques like machine learning, for example, to create recommendations, but still leverage the heuristics and the intelligence of humans, let's say healthcare practitioners or policymakers, to choose the right path. So that's a little bit the combination that we're aiming for. On the one hand, you need a very good platform to bring together data from so many sources that all have different semantics, different meanings, that come from different industries, that come from wearable devices and other inputs. And on the other hand, you need a couple of vertical applications that can do basic stuff that is just repeatable. So even though you want to be very specific and very patient-centric, very value-based in future health, there's 70-80% of stuff that is replicable, and you want to focus on the remaining 20. And that's where you want to use sophisticated algorithms, sophisticated way of bringing data together. And I think that's a role that technology companies can play going forward. And particularly with cloud, where you can scale up and down, and you can get storage at a moment's notice if you need a lot, which you do in health at the moment. That's going to be easier going forward.